Hi everyone, my name's David Cowley and I'm going to be showing you the Magic Square Extraordinaire. This is essentially a magic trick that has a mathematical basis that you can use to make people think that you have incredible powers of mental maths, where you can perform an astonishing feat really quickly. So take a look at the video, check out the lesson, and I'll see you on the other side. All right, let's get started with our magic square. What I'm going to do is use a random generator to get some random calendar dates. We'll use one of those to create a date of birth, a magic number, and I will show you the magic square. As I said to you in the introduction, this isn't a traditional magic square. This is supposed to be something of a magic trick, something of a performance that people should find impressive, and it's a little bit of a test of your mental math skills and a good way to get your speed up. So here I go. I'm going to go to my other screen and just click and get myself a calendar date, and it's thrown up the 20th of the 3rd, 1982. So that is the 20th of the 3rd, 1982. Now what I'm going to do is fill out the top row of my magic square with that number. I can't fit it all in, so I'm just going to make my date a little bit smaller by saying 20, 3, 8, and 2. The 20th of the 3rd, 82. Now, if we add up the numbers on that top row, we're going to get ourselves a total. And that total is 20 plus 3 plus 8 plus 2 is 33. And my job is to try and create that number as many times as possible during the course of filling out this magic square. So I shall start in 3, 2, 1, here we go. I'm going to throw a 19th over here, I think a 9 over there. Let's have a 3 down here. Go ahead and put a 2 and a 3. Let's have an 8 down here in this corner. Throw a 19 over there. I think, maybe we'll throw a couple of 4s in. An 18 over here, a 3 over there, and to finish it off, I'll do a 7. And that's my magic square complete. So as I say, obviously you can't see what I'm doing over here, but I just throw out a random calendar date from my screen. I'll do another one in a minute so you can see me do it again. And within a few seconds, with some practice, we can create ourselves this square. But what does it mean? Let's take a look through the thing. First of all, let's have a look for our magic number in all our rows. So I've got 20 and 3 and 8 and 2, which we know makes 33. On the next row down, let's see if I manage to do it there. Well, 19 and 4 makes 23, 7 and 3 makes 10, so that's another 33 over there. 3 and 9 makes 12, with another 2 makes 14, 14 plus 19, you can check my maths if you want, is 33. 3 and 18 is 21, 21 plus 4 is 25, 25 plus 8 is 33, so in a very short space of time we can get it in all our rows. But if you know anything about magic squares, you know that we also want to do this in the columns as well. So let's start down here. 20 plus 7 is 27, plus 3 is 30, plus 3 is 33. Over here, 3 plus 3 is 6, plus 9 is 15, 15 plus 18, that's 33 as well. 8 plus 19 is 27, 27 plus 2 is 29, and plus 4 is 33. And the final column, have we done it? Let's check. 2 and 4 is 6, plus the 19 is 25, plus 8 is 33. Not so bad. But there is actually a little bit more to this. You see, not only did we get 33 in all the rows and all the columns, but in a magic square we also want to get the diagonals. So let's check this diagonal going from this corner down here up there. 3 and 9 is 12. 12 and 19 takes you to 31, plus 2, yep, that's a 33 over there. And of course we should be able to do it in this corner as well. Let's check this corner. 20 plus 3, that's 23, plus 2 is 25, plus 8, that's 33 as well. Not bad for a few seconds work. There is in fact though even more. That would be a magic square, but this is the Magic Square Extraordinaire. If we check this box up here, in this corner, the 4 numbers in that box add up to 33. Let's check. 8 and 2 is 10, plus the 19 is 29, plus 4 is 33. We also get this box in the middle over here. 3 and 8 is 11, 11 and 19 is 30, plus 3 is 33, and even this box up here in this corner adds up. 20 plus 3 plus 7 plus 3 is 33. Let's check the bottom row. We've got down here in this box over here, 2 and 19 makes 21. 21 plus 8 is 29, plus 4 is 33. This box in the middle over here, 9 and 2 is 11. 11 and 4 is 15. 15 and 18 is 33. And over here we've got 9 and 3 is 12, plus 3 is 15, plus 18 is 33. In addition to that, we want to do center stage over here, the box in the very middle. 3 and 19 makes 22. 22 plus 2 is 24. 24 plus 9 is 33. We get all our boxes, including this one in the middle. But if you're doing this for somebody, if you ask someone for their date of birth, and then you do this thing, then that's a number that's actually significant to them, that's special to them. And so you want to make sure that it feels special. And that's why not only do we have the date of birth on the top row, the 20th of the 3rd, 82, but I also took a few extra seconds to make sure that we get the 20th of the 3rd, 82 in the four corners as well. And that is the Magic Square Extraordinaire. Now, I'm going to teach you how to do this. Hopefully, you're fairly impressed that within the space of just a few seconds we can create a magic square where this magic number appears not just in the rows, not just in the columns, but the diagonals, in all of these little four squares in the table as well, and we can even work that date of birth once again into a final answer. So before I tell you the secret to this, you need to remember how impressive it looks, because when I tell you the secret you might be a little bit disappointed at how easy it is. At the same time, it's quite exciting that this is easy, because it means that with a bit of practice you can demonstrate to people an incredible mathematical feat, and they're going to think that you're an absolute number genius for very, very little work. So remember that this does look impressive when you don't know the secret, as I now go and show you the secret. Let's have our next blank page. I'm going to pick myself a new date. Let's go again to my website and try and find a new date. And this one looks good. I've got the 5th of the 8th, 2011. The 5th of the 8th, 2011. Okay. Now, for this one over here, I would write it out as 5, 8, 20, 11. So long as you can fill 4 numbers into the top of this thing, it doesn't matter what those numbers are at all. There is a special case for the very first one. If that's a 1, you have to change things a little bit, and I'll explain that in a moment. But for now, you can put any 4 numbers up here for practice. I'm just using a date because it's a bit more meaningful to the people looking at what you're doing. So let's take a look at how this works. Now, first of all, we need a magic number. We get this by adding together all the numbers in the top row. So the 20 plus the 11 is 31. 31 plus 8 is 39, plus 5 makes 44. So that's our magic number we're trying to hit, 44. So, how do we do this? Well, let's start with the ending. If we go back to the one we did before, my big finish, the thing that looks really impressive after all of these magic numbers appearing, is the fact that the date of birth appears in the corners, and you save that till last, because it's really unexpected. But you, doing this thing, know that it's coming up. So you know there needs to be a 5 up here, well, it's already there, and then an 8 down here, and then a 20 over here, and then an 11. So we know we already get an 8 and a 20 for free. Now if I started off just by writing 8 and 20 here, it might give the game away, so I try not to do that. I try to do it in a different order. But we're going to start off by putting an 8 over in this corner over here. Now I'm going to give you what happens in this square over here. This square over here is the top left corner, the 5, minus 1. So that's going to be a 4. So I'm going to put a little star next to that and write a note over here that what goes in that box is the top left corner minus 1. Okay? So once you know that, those are that's the only thing you need to remember really, is that what goes in that box is the top left number, the first number, minus 1. Everything else is like the world's easiest Sudoku puzzle, because I already know what that diagonal needs to add up to. Because once again, if you remember, my diagonals add up to my magic number, as do my rows and my columns and those little squares. So if I know this thing here adds up to 44, all I have to do is add up the numbers I have so far, which is 11 plus 4 makes 15, add the 8, which takes me to 23, so I'm going to need another 21 to get to 44. So I have this diagonal. And if you remember, this box over here in this top corner, well, that box had to add up to 44 as well. So let's add together the numbers in this box. So 20 plus 4 is 24, plus 11 makes 35, so I'm going to need another 9 over here. This middle box over here, the 8, 20, and 4, they have to add up to 44 when I put this one in over here. So 20 and 8 makes 28, plus 4 is 32, so I need another 12. And this box up here in the top left, that needs to add up to 44 as well, or at this stage I could also use this row over here in order to make 44. So I'm going to keep on going through this table, and I'm going to keep on looking for these rows or columns or diagonals or the sets of 4 boxes, and just keep on making 44 out of them. So that is part 1 of the secret. If you already know that your date of birth is going to appear in the outer corners, and if you already know that the number 44 has to come out of all these different aspects, then it's just a case of following the next domino. Every number you fill in is like a domino knocking down the next one, telling you what number to put into the next one. So if you need to go back and watch again the explanation for how I got started over here with my green numbers, then please do so. And make sure that you understand where I'm getting these numbers from and what the logic is. One thing to say straight away, like here's our first bullet point. First thing to remember is how to get that 4 over there. There is another thing to remember as well. Now what I'm going to do is quickly draw another little 4 square grid, like this. Because you may have picked up, or you may have missed out the fact that there were 2 little sets of 4 that did not make 44. And as I'm doing my performance, as I'm doing my demonstration, I try not to talk about it in the hopes that you won't notice. But this little set of 4 in here, oh no, that's a bit bold, but you get the idea. And this little set of 4 in here, they do not make 44. So for instance, if I'm filling out this number over here, I'll use this corner. 12 and 8 make 20. 25 is going to need another 19 to make 44. I then cannot make 44 out of this next one over here. So I can't do 19 and 21 and 12 and something makes 44. In fact, at this stage you'll even see it doesn't make much sense, does it? Because 19 and 21 makes 40, then I'm up to 52. So this box, the 19, 12, 21 and something, does not make 44. They do not work, that one and that one. But it's okay, because by that point you've got columns, you've got rows, you've got other things you can do. Every other box, including this one in the middle, makes 44. Okay, so let me just pause for a second, because part 1 of the secret is understanding the way in which we fill out the table. But how do you get to a point where you're doing it quickly? What this comes down to is choosing the order of adding up in a way that's easiest, in a way that's best. And practice. The more you practice a number skill, the better it gets, even if in the beginning it seems like you're getting nowhere. I love mental maths, and I'm reasonably good at mental maths, but I didn't start off good at mental maths. I had to practice. And if you practice as well, then you will get good as well. And I practice mental maths so that I could do stuff like this, because it's impressive, it's fun, it gets people interested in maths in a different way, and that's a part of my job. So let's have a look at getting our heads around the fastest way. And what you have to do is become a decision maker Maths is about decisions. It's about creating the right approach. So when I was trying to get the number in this box, the 19 in this box, I had a choice between looking at row number 2 and between looking at this square in the corner. I was immediately drawn towards the square in the corner because I saw a number bond. I saw an 8 and a 2, which make 10. And 10s are really easy to deal with, right? So I've got 8 and 2 makes 10. Obviously 8 and 12 makes 20. And then I've got 25. So then at that stage, to figure out the 19, what's going on in my head is I'm thinking in tens. 25 going to 45 would be another 20, so I need one less. I need 19. And I'm shuffling those numbers around in my head rather than just going 5 plus 8 is 13, and 13 plus 12 is 25, and then 25 plus 44 minus 25 is something. Okay, I'm using a bit of estimation and a bit of observation to help me out. Now, if I'd have used the 12, 4, and 9, that would have been a bit harder, I think, because I don't see a nice number bond there that's going to help me out. So let's have a look now at this column over here. Now, I don't have a choice for this column, so the simplest thing to do here to make this easier is to start with the largest number. Don't go 5 plus 19 plus 8, because these are the 5 and the 8 are small changes. They're easier to think about. So I'm going to start with the largest number and then add on the next largest number and then add on the smallest number, because it's just going to become easier to deal with. Here's a thought for you. When you're doing a bunch of adding up, if I'm adding up 3 numbers or 4 numbers, what you have to do in the first instance is very easy. You're just adding together 2 numbers. But then after that, you have to remember your running total and then add something to it. And that's a little bit more to deal with. Now you're remembering something and adding something at the same time. So by doing the most difficult bit of addition first, it means that whilst I'm trying to remember a number, I'm not having to do too much work with the adding that goes on top of it. It's a very, very simple little trick. So 19 plus 8, that's 27, right? That's a big calculation, big-ish calculation. But now I have to remember 27 while I add the 5. But because I've left the easy number to the end, it's not so bad. 27 plus 5, that's 32. Now, rather than doing 44 minus 32, I just try and get close to 44 with an easy add, and then I adjust. So 32 plus 10, 42 plus 12. Just going to make these numbers dance for you a little bit. So now look, I've got a choice between working out this bottom corner over here, or working out over here this thing, or using this column over here. Now this bottom corner is a pretty good choice because I've got a number bond over here, but I've got the same number bond appearing over here. So it's pretty good either way. It's the same calculation either way. So let me use my number bond over here. That's 8 and 12, 20, 41, so I just need 3. I wasn't so drawn to the middle square because there's no number bond there to help me. So I'll do it if I need to, but I'm going to go looking for other opportunities first. So as it happens, I pretty much have to go after this number now. So let's follow the advice of adding the biggest numbers first. 12 and 21, that makes 23, 33. Which I have to remember, but it's okay, I left the easy adding now. 33 plus 4 is 37. So how do I get close? Well, let's get to 40 first. Let's use our number bonds. If you are not familiar with the word number bond, by the way, I've used it a couple of times. These are just numbers that go together to make 10. Alright, so I'm just making a list over here. 1 and 0 and 10. Oh dear. 0 and 10, I missed out 1 and 9, 2 and 8, 3 and 7, 4 and 6, and 5 and 5. These are all my number bonds. And they get us to 10s, which makes adding up easier. So I started off with 12 and 21, which makes, of course, 33. Then we added the 4, which made 37. Another 3, because that's the number bond. 3 and 7, yeah, so we were on 37. Another 3 gets me to 40. With another 4 gets me to 44, 3 and 4 is 7. Now I can do this column or this row. If you take a moment to think about which one looks nicer, then we can work on that one. Well, let's take a look. I really like the idea here that I can have one big number and a couple of small numbers. So 27, biggest numbers first, 27, 31, 10 would get up to 41, so 13 down here. Now I don't have to do a calculation for this box. This box has to be a 20. Can you remember why? It's because the date of birth has to appear in the four corners, the 5th of the 8th, 2011. So I don't have to calculate down there. And in not having to calculate down there, oh, this is lovely. I've got 11 and 9, which makes 20, with 20 makes 40. So we need a 4 over here. Had I worked out this row over here, I'd have got the 4 anyway. Let's double check. 21 and 12 makes 33. With the 7 makes 40. With the 4 makes 44. Remember, this box over here in the middle of the right hand side is not expected to add up to 44. It doesn't work, and you just have to try and hide that fact. Okay, so at this point we know secret number 1, which is how we work out the table. I'm not going to go through it again because you can just rewind, and I don't want this video to be too long for you. So rewind and check that out if you need to. Secret number 1 is knowing how the table's put together. Secret number 2 is coming up with effective strategies for doing the adding up. And in this case, it's looking for things like number bonds, which make the adding up considerably easier. And this little small trick, after you've looked at number bonds, of going after the biggest numbers first, because those are going to be the most difficult ones to add up. And you want to do those where you're not trying to remember your running total. So if you practice this, you can get pretty quick. I am going to ask you though, go back to the beginning of this video when I did my first one, and you'll notice that I don't fill it out in the same order that I've taught it to you. Because if we understand why this table works and where this -1 rule comes from and all these sorts of things, what you're going to find is that actually we can do it even more easily and even faster than the method that I've taught you. And if we're interested in seeing that, I'll do it in another video, and I'll show you how it works. I'll show you the algebra underneath the table and what we can get out of that so we can do it twice as fast as the way you're doing it now. So, learn how the numbers go into the table, practice your effective methods for adding, and just practice by yourself until you can do it fast and accurately. Now, I want to just quickly show you one more thing. Okay, I'm going to go for a new page, and I'm just going to make up a scenario which is a little bit different to the others. Let's say the person's date of birth was the 1st of the 7th, 1983. That's actually my birthday. I'll quickly construct myself a little table over here. I'll try and get one that actually shows up. That's better. Like this. So in this table I would put 1783. So remember how we got started with our table. First of all, we need a magic number. Even here I'm going to use number bonds. So 7 and 3 is 10, with the 8 and 1 makes 19. So the magic number for this table is 19. Remember how I started? I said, look, there needs to be a 7 down here. And I said this box over here, if you remember, is going to be whatever number is up here -1. That was the rule I put up here. There is a rule though. The number in this box can never be 0. The number in that box can never be 0. If that number turns out to be 0, then you're going to get negative numbers in your table, and that doesn't look good. So here we'd see that that would happen. If someone's birthday is the 1st of something, we'd get a negative number in that box. So I add 1 instead of taking away 1. So instead of taking away 1 from this to get 0, I add 1 to get 2. And then I fill out the rest of the table. Why don't you pause the video now and see if you can complete the rest of the table. Think about how it works, think about the domino effect of these numbers, and think about the most effective strategies for adding. I'm going to hold off for a minute, and when you've unpaused, I'll fill it out as well, and you can see if your numbers match mine and if your reasoning matches mine. Okay, let's go. So I see a number bond, 7 and 3, so that's 10, 12, I need a 7 over here, great. In this corner over here I see a number bond, 8 and 2 makes 10, with the 3 is 13, so I need another 6. 8 and 2 makes 10 again with the 7 over there, so I need a 2 over here as well. 1, 7 and 2 all make 10 together, that's like a extended number bond, so I know I need a 9 over here. Looking at my choices for this one over here, I don't see any number bonds. Oh, I see a number bond over here. 1 and 9 makes 10, with the 7 makes 17, so that's a 2. Looking at these ones over here, this is the same whether I do the column or the box. So I'll do the doubling first. Remember the larger numbers first. 7 and 7 is 14, with 2 is 16, so I need a 3. Let's go ahead and fill out an 8 in this corner over here just to break it up a little bit. And then I can do this row over here. 8 and 6 is 14, 17, so I need a 2. I've got a number bond down here, 10, 18, so I need a 1. And then over here I've got a number bond. I won't use the row, I'll use the column because there's a nice number bond there. 8 and 2 makes 10, with the 1 is 11, so I need an 8 over here. And you can go ahead and check that your 19s appear in these rows, in these columns, on these diagonals, in this box, in this box, in this box, in this one, in this one, in this one, in the center one. You quietly ignore that middle band over there, and then you can check you've got your 1st to the 7th 83 in your corners. Alright everyone, I hope you enjoyed that. I know I went on a little bit long, half an hour is a long time to be watching, so go back and get the key points again. Make sure that you understand what's going on, and before you show anybody, practice, practice, practice. Just keep on making updates, keep on putting them through your table, and you'll see that you get more confidence and more speed. And then when you're ready, get a member of your family, get a date of birth, and hopefully they'll be amazed and they'll think that you have incredible powers of mental maths. I'm actually also, as well as being a maths tutor, I've performed magic professionally. And I don't mind telling you, I've used this in my magic act alongside normal magic tricks with things like card tricks and coin tricks and things like that. So it gets just as strong a reaction as all that usual magic stuff. So practice, and in the next part of the lesson, I'm going to teach you how to do it even faster, even more easily, by understanding the algebra, the structure behind how it works. So there it is, Magic Square Extraordinaire. Hope you enjoy.